Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'd like to talk about something a little bit more serious. As we all know, coronavirus is spreading across the world. So as you can see from the title, I'm going to talk about how Taiwan as a country and the government deal with this situation, because I really think we did such a great job this time. Today is 15 March 2020, and these days we're seeing so much more news and articles talking about what the Taiwanese government has done to help control the outbreak. And just to start by telling you a little bit about myself. So I am originally from Taiwan, my parents are Taiwanese, but I spend a lot of my life in China, and right now I work as a freelance interpreter, and I split my time between the UK and Shanghai. So I have a flat in Shanghai, and I went back to the UK last year, the end of 2019, for holiday and for work, and I stayed in the UK until late January 2020. January I flew back from London to Shanghai, and I dropped my luggage and at my flat, and I flew back to here, Taiwan, for Lunar New Year. That was the end of January. Right now we're at mid-March. Funny thing is, I packed for 1 week and thinking that I would just come back for a quick trip to see my family, and unfortunately the situation of the virus outbreak got worse and worse, and I had to cancel my ticket back to Shanghai. I had to basically, because I thought that was the best thing to do, taking into consideration that I am a Taiwanese national and we have really good health insurance system here, and I thought because of the outbreak there won't be a lot of work for me to do either in China, so I decided I would stay here. So it has been around 3 months since the coronavirus outbreak. Some of you might find it really strange because you only recently started to notice that the influence this coronavirus has over your life. That's probably because you live in non-Asian countries where the outbreak started not so long ago. Whereas here in Asia, the outbreak started 3 months ago at the end of 2019. The influence of this outbreak is heartbreaking. As the title of this video suggests, this is to talk about what Taiwanese government and Taiwan as a country has done to help control the outbreak, because so far we only have a little bit over 40 cases. I'd just like to quickly add in here that we have a lot more cases in the past 1 week, and you can see the number has gone really high up within this couple of few days. That is mainly because these people are students who used to study outside of Taiwan, or people who worked outside of Taiwan, and they realized that the situation has been really bad in Europe or North America, many other countries, so they decided they would come back, and this is why we have such a big surge on the chart, which is very unfortunate, but I'd just like to explain a little bit. I need to emphasize how difficult it is for us to have the situation under control like this, because if you don't know, open Google Map and then you will see Taiwan is an island not too far away from China. It only takes 2 hours to get to China from Taiwan, so geographically it's very close, which means it's easier for the virus or the carriers of virus to get here. And then another thing makes controlling the outbreak extremely difficult is the fact that, let's just say, China is a major player when it comes to the WHO, World Health Organization. If you know anything about politics between Taiwan and China, you would know that China does not like the fact that we have our own government, and Chinese officials within the WHO and internationally would try to pressure any sort of international organization to leave Taiwan out as a country in order to politically pressure Taiwan to give in many ways. I'm not going to go into too much detail in that. I'm just going to stress that Taiwan is very much not a part of the WHO this time, which is very heartbreaking, I would say, because when it comes to human beings, human lives, it's quite sad to see that we are left out. We are sort of left alone in this battle, and then we have to do everything we can to protect ourselves. Luckily, we have a great president, and we have a great institution within the country, and this is how we got the situation under control. I just want to mention a few measures that we have taken in Taiwan. The Taiwanese government reacted really fast. Back in early January, when we first noticed those 27 cases of pneumonia, Taiwanese government reacted really fast. Su Zhenchang and Chen Qimai, they met together and they decided to order to quarantine all flights from China, and that was at the very beginning of this outbreak. And the Ministry of Health and Welfare on 15th January published this announcement adding severe special infectious pneumonia as a category 5 notifiable communicable disease. Since December 2019, we started to monitor this situation of this disease. We noticed that there is a viral pneumonia of unknown etiology was found, and symptoms include a fever and a few patients having difficulty in breathing, and the chest radiographs showing bilateral lung infiltrates. And what we did was a team of experts was set to conduct a research on 13th and 14th January in Wuhan. So they went from Taiwan to Wuhan on that day, and we noticed that the situation was very severe in China. And quickly on 15th of January 2020, Taiwanese government decided to categorize this severe special infectious pneumonia, aka Wuhan pneumonia, as a category 4 notifiable communicable diseases, requiring all hospitals to monitor and report to the government. And what we did next was a central epidemic command center was established by NHCC on 20th January, along with a series of policies to control the epidemic. And on 21st January, the first case was observed in Taiwan, a 50-year-old woman who just returned to Taoyuan International Airport in Taipei from her teaching job in Wuhan. And the Taiwanese government issued a level 3 travel warning to Wuhan, China, meaning the Central Epidemic Command Center advised potential travelers to avoid any unnecessary trips to the city. No travelers from Wuhan were allowed to enter the country, and starting from 6th of February, Taiwanese nationals with history of traveling to China, Hong Kong, Macau were required to be under home quarantine for 14 days. We also got a lot of help technology-wise with our horrible experience against SARS back in 2003. Taiwan is equipped with so many technologies and instruments. We have these infrared temperature sensors that can help people monitor the temperature. And we also have this electronic quarantine system installed at the custom. We also took measures when it comes to resource management. So 2 days after the first case was confirmed in Taiwan, the executive yuan has announced temporary ban on the export of surgical masks to ensure the country has enough masks for our own people. We also organized manufacturers of masks to make sure that the prices of these masks are under control as well. And we also started mask sort of allocation system where one person can get 2 surgical masks per week, and you would go to, for example, a pharmacy linked to the national health system, and you would give them your national health insurance card, and then they would plug it into the computer and it would be on the record. This is to ensure that everyone has some masks at home to protect themselves. We also used media to help people understand the situation better. Taiwanese government ordered a lot of TV channels to play short films between the shows, and these films were played every hour to make sure that people see it. I guess you see these days on TV. When I watch the TV, you could see them very short film telling you need to wash your hands and take certain precautions, etc., which I have to admit I learned a lot from those films, so quite useful. We also have great public support and synergy. Every office building and every schools, every campuses and all kinds of communities, we all come together. We understand what the government is asking us to do, and we check the temperature of everyone going in and out of a certain space to make sure that no one with a fever can possibly come in. We also have surgical spirits equipped outside of every building, so when you come out or in of a building you get to sanitize your hand quickly. We also need to really mention one of the greatest thing about Taiwan, which is the Taiwan National Health Insurance. 99% of the Taiwanese citizens has this national health insurance. Everyone can afford healthcare, everyone can go to the hospital or clinics whenever they need to without being worried about having enough money or not. And what's more, Taiwanese citizens can get tested regarding coronavirus for free. For those who are under quarantine, they get a 1,000 new Taiwanese dollars every day from the government up to 14 days. This is just a quick overview of what Taiwanese government and Taiwan has done to help control the situation. I have to say it's not easy, as I mentioned before, for many reasons. I really think we did a great job. We need to thank those people who worked in the front line. The first one would be Chen Shizhong, our current Minister of Health and Welfare. This man is a superman. He was able to come up with so many measures and so many precautions, and that takes a lot. He's having press conference every day. You could see that that man is tired, but he just kept going. I just hope that, you know, he gets enough rest. What he did was amazing. We trust our government. We follow the precautions the government asks us to do. He is one of the greatest heroes in this battle. We most certainly need to thank those medical staff working in the front line, pharmacists working tirelessly with our masks. All they do these days is to get up, put 3 or 2 masks into a bag. Also dealing with some very upset customers because they probably couldn't get the mask because we just don't have enough supply at the moment. They were doing those things for free. The government asked them to do it and they did it for free. There is no profit whatsoever in selling masks at this time. We really need to be grateful for those people, and there are so many other people that I might not have thought about. It doesn't mean that they're not working so hard to make sure that everyone stay healthy. Now, I'd like to mention a few things that you probably already know or you probably should really know. A few very simple tips. Wash your hands, wash it for long enough using soap, and wear surgical masks appropriately, and check your temperature once in a while. And if you're having a fever or you're feeling funny, talk to a professional. Don't panic buy or don't panic do anything in general. Be kind to the medical staff. You do not know how much pressure they have, how much they're going through, having to leave their family every day, knowing or thinking that they might become ill today. Be kind to them. The last thing would be learn from the experience, the good and the bad. The experience we have here in Asia, the experience of us having it under control. I think we just need to remember better safe than sorry. But I still like to end this video on a lighter note because, you know, psychological health is also very important in this situation. Make sure that we're mentally sane so we can get through this. Here is a picture that I took the other day outside of a pharmacy. It says, adult masks and 75% alcohol all sold out for today. Don't ask why. We just don't have it. You can see these kind of furious notes outside of so many pharmacies these days. You could just feel how frustrated and how tired these people are. So it's kind of interesting, but it also shows how difficult the situation is for everyone. This will pass. It will not control us forever. It is also important to remember that because I see people being so desperate and being so depressed because of this situation. I was one of it back in January when I went through this long period of just feeling, what's the point of life? Because my life was completely messed up and I was so upset, but I learned to see sort of some silver linings in this. I have been trapped in Taiwan. I try to see it as a chance for me to get to spend a little bit more time with my family, whom I never really get that much time with. I try to enjoy the little things in life. It is possible to overcome this. We will find a way, but it just might take time. And as long as we're careful, I think we'll be okay. I hope every country can learn a little bit from my beautiful country. Also want to mention that Taiwan is still as beautiful as it is before, if not more beautiful. It will be safe to travel to Asia in general. It will be safe to travel to Taiwan in the future. We look forward to seeing you here. We would like to show you beautiful Ida Formosa, and there are just amazing food waiting for you here. Beautiful mountains and oceans and beaches to visit. All you need to do is just hop on a plane. It will be so easy after this. Let's get through this. Again, stay safe. Thoughts and prayers to those who suffer from this epidemic and for those who passed away. It is extremely sad. I cannot imagine if one of my family died in this situation. That's the end of this video. I'm so tired, I need to get a shower. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.